Hello guys and welcome to the show. You join me in my little dining room. My kitchen is just over there. I'm having a coffee. I had a very long day. Unfortunately, I'm back working pretty much, well, I say part-time, but actually it's pretty full-time. Obviously because of the medical bills. It's just the way life is. Unfortunately, there's no escaping it. However, I am determined to continue with the channel. Even if I don't sleep or I have to sacrifice any free time I have, I will continue with the channel as long as I can. Hopefully one day I'll get my medical bills paid off. So it is what it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. Do excuse me, I'm extremely tired. I should do a wristwatch check. And by the way, Lavazza. 2 espressos with some milk. That's how I like to have it. No sugar, no nothing, Because I'm absolutely exhausted. But I'm going to go and shoot a video, if I like it or not, for you guys. Now, quick wristwatch check there. I've got the little Oris. Oh, just look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I haven't got any compliments from people as yet at work. What's going on? Sorry, I haven't got any compliments about it as of yet, but I keep catching people staring at it. It is a very elegant little piece. I'm very happy with it. Chuffed to bits. And talking about limited time and working and all the struggles of life as we all go through, I thought today I'd talk about motivation and share my 10 motivation secrets. So let's roll the intro and get on with the show. Okay, welcome back guys. So today I wanted to share my top 10 motivation secrets. These are little things that I kind of do every day. Well, not every day, but when the going gets tough. These have really helped me. So I thought I'd share with you guys out there some of my kind of techniques, some things that have really assisted me. Start with number 10. Now these are not in any particular order, although you may order your list in an entirely different way, but I thought I'd number them for reference as well. Anyway, so number 10, and this is something I learned, funnily enough, on YouTube. I saw this incredible video about the 40% rule. This is a Navy SEAL technique of thinking. It's indoctrinated into the training regime of US Navy SEALs. And when the going gets really tough, when they're exhausted, when they've been through stringent exercise and training regimes, and they're really pushing these guys to the limit. So what this mode of thinking really entails is whenever you're close to that limit, when you're really pushed, especially if you're exercising and you think you're tired, always remember you can always go that 60% more. A lot of it is psychological. When you're tired, when you're close to breaking point, people are so much stronger than you imagine. So whenever you're at that breaking point, you've got to quickly think about that 40% rule and think that you still got 60% more. I'm not expecting everybody to be as tough as a Navy SEAL, but it is a cool little thing. There's a great video about it. I forget the channel, but I'll include a link down below. That 40% rule. It really helps, especially when I'm exercising and I'm starting to feel a bit kind of tired. That first 10 minutes is always the toughest, and then you crank up the resistance or you go uphill. And before you know it, when you've broken through that 40% rule, you get to this place where you're just gliding and you become almost at one with yourself, and you just, you can deal with anything. So always remember the 40% rule. It's a very cool bit of psychological training. Obviously, it's a lot more complex than I'm simplifying it right down. Check out the video. I'll leave a link down below. It's very, very interesting and something I always think about just to give me that extra push. Okay, so moving on. Number 9 is perspective. And what I mean by this is always remember who you are and where you are right now, because trust me, in the whole scheme of things, whatever you're going through, your ancestors have gone through a lot worse. I always find in really tough situations, I think back to my grandparents, my great-grandparents, their sacrifices in the Great War. I think about them having to fight for my freedom. And it always kind of just reminds me that, you know what, if they can do it, they sacrifice so much more than me. I'm so lucky and privileged to be here. So perspective can really be a great motivational tool. We never had it so good. Honestly, I know, even in the toughest of times, we have never had it so good. I mean, if we compare ourselves to ancient man in caves, you know, where it was hunter-gathering, if you didn't store enough food, and there's always people worse off than you. I know it's a bit of an easy way to think, but it does actually motivate me. I think it's very easy to complain and get into giving excuses and blah, blah, blah. We all have our demons. We all have our demons. Honestly, some of the things I've been through in my life have really tested me. We all have our issues, we all have our problems, but never forget there are people worse off than yourself. I think of my own health problems. Had I been born 50 years earlier, I'd be dead. No way could I survive 4 lung collapses. I'd be dead. There wasn't the surgery that's reconstructed and saved my lungs is still very, very new. They don't really know much about it. I wake up every morning and I'm thankful to be alive, and so should you. A lot of us can get dragged down and distracted by the situations we're in, but trust me, we have never had it so good. And always think about your ancestors, what they have gone through, so you can be here right now, their sacrifices, so you can have the freedom to get up and go to work and enjoy life and do what you're doing right now. Never, ever, ever forget the sacrifices, and always keep that in perspective. You're only here because your parents, your grandparents, your ancestors for 1,000 years have been successful, because they've suffered and fought and died so you can be here. So never ever forget the whole, you know, the perspective, where you fit in the whole grand scale of things. Okay, so number 8. Now this is a very useful motivational tool, and that is setting goals and having short-term and long-term plans. So short-term could be anything from, I know this sounds ridiculous, but at the end of the day, I love a glass of wine. After a nice meal with my wife, there's nothing more I like more than having something sweet to eat, a little bit of chocolate. Not every night, but just a little bit, a little treat. Of course, I'm not going to reward myself if I haven't done my exercise, if I haven't had a productive, good day. So always reward yourself. Don't go over the top. You know, don't eat an entire chocolate bar. Savor it. Have a little bit. Spread it out. You know, you'll enjoy it that much more. So short-term goals and rewards are absolutely great. Long-term, God, I have so many things I want to achieve in my life. And I'm not talking monetary, you know, I'm not talking Rolls Royces and ridiculous material rubbish like that. I'm talking about moments that will last with me, memories. I'm dying to go back to Florence, for example, and take my wife back there. That's where I met my wife. You know, that's where I had maybe the happiest days of my life as a student. Such golden, fond memories. I want to go back. You know, that's something in a couple of years, maybe next year and the year after, I can do that. It's not some hard to reach goal. It's attainable. So always have something to work towards, a goal that is attainable. You don't want it to be some ridiculous thing, and then you're filled with disappointment when you don't reach that goal. It's got to be, well, you know, I'm not saying don't dream big. Dreaming big is great, but you know, have different levels of, you know, you have that long-term goal, maybe owning your own company or being freelance, or I have so many goals. I'm not going to discuss them because some of them are private. Another one is Baselworld 2017. We're going to do it. Me and Federico have got plans. We're going to do it. It's not that far-fetched. I mean, I just got to pay off these medical bills. I'll figure it out somehow. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So goals, having something to work towards, rewards, short-term rewards is a really great motivational tool. Don't go over the top though. Don't spoil yourself. It makes it a little less sweeter if you reward yourself too much. So that was my number 8. Number 7, and that is to always keep busy. Always keep yourself occupied. Always have lots of things to do. That way you've got something to think about, you've got something to enjoy, something to look forward to, have lots of projects on the go. In winter time is my favorite because, you know, I love to draw, I like to do some retro gaming. I don't really have time for it when the weather, you know, when the weather's nice, I like to be outside, traveling, you know, I like to dress up and go to restaurants more because it's just easier. Another goal of mine, which I neglected to do, was go to the opera for my birthday. Unfortunately, I had to go into hospital again back in February. These are things that I'm working towards. Always keep your mind stimulated. Always feed your mind with nourishment, like your body, you know, books and cinema and music, and really feed your soul, because you will find inspiration and motivation from these things. Let me give you an example. A beautiful film or a fantastic book. You'll take things from it. It will motivate you. It will inspire you. This is more to do with inspiration, really, ideas and stuff like that. But always keep yourself busy. Always keep yourself stimulated. Have multiple things on the go. So you're never sitting still. If you do sit still, I mean, meditation is great. I don't personally do it. I kind of combine it with exercise. I do this kind of, I get in this meditative state when I'm doing cardio. I listen to music, plan out my day. I think about videos that I'm going to make. I think about work, projects that I'm working on professionally and also for the channel. Don't ever let your mind be distracted by negativity. And if you keep your mind occupied by constructive things, then you're working towards something. So number 7, always keep busy and stimulate your mind. Okay, so number 6. And this is kind of, I've mentioned this before in the my life hacks. I did a video about how I basically stay happy and things that I've found that really help me in life to stay happy, in my own life hacks. I'll include a link down below. Check out that video. It was incredibly successful. A lot of you really found it useful. It's something that all the things I do in that video, I still to this day do every single day. It really, really helps me. And it's something I mentioned in that, and this is my number 6, is to never let negative people, you know, the weak, the envious. I think my good friend Alpha M, I think he called them energy vampires or something. A really good turn of phrase. Never let the haters drag you down. You know, they want to drag you down to their level. You know, stay motivated, stay positive, keep above it. Don't even pay it a second's notice. Never, ever, ever, you know, keep going forward. Always keep going forward. Never let them drag you down to their level. Just to cut out all the negative people, or try and expose yourself to the least toxic people you can. It's a huge mistake I did in the early days of my YouTube, is to get involved with people like that. And you know, don't disrespect them and you know, just stay away from them, you know. Never make time for negative or toxic people like that. It's nothing's good is going to come of it, and it kills motivation. It's a motivation killer, because they lack it, you know, and they leech off you. So always keep going forward. Don't let these people weigh you down. Sometimes you have to let a little bit of yourself go in order to keep going forward. I talked about this at great length in that other video, so check it out if you haven't seen it. But honestly, keep the negativity away. It's a motivation killer. Something I learned quite recently, I think last year, is if you haven't got anything positive to say, best not to say anything at all. That's how a real gentleman behaves. It's something I've taken years to, I really didn't realize this. It's a slippery slope, because then you're just as good as the energy vampires, as the envious ones, as the weak ones, as the haters and toxic and negative people, because they will always, you know, they're the first to point out the negatives, you know. Keep it positive and don't enter into it. Anyway, so that was number 6. Number 5. Now this is a skill I really didn't know about this, but the more I think about it, it's a great motivational skill, and that is to maintain your focus. Or it's a self-discipline. It's something that you can only really teach yourself, and that is focus. When you focus on something, when you've got your goal, you've got your vision, you've got your idea, you've got your business or whatever it is, and you will stop at nothing to make it work. It's focus, not to be distracted by other things. This whole world, especially in this online multimedia world, is designed to distract you, to take away your valuable time, because time at the end of the day is the most valuable commodity. Forget money. We're all going to the grave. We're all going to the grave. So ultimately, time is the most precious commodity. So with focus, when you cut out all the BS, when you cut out all the negativity, when you cut out all the haters and all the jealous ones and people that are wasting your time, people that are not serious, negativity, and you have focus and self-discipline to apply yourself, it is a great motivator, because things will start happening. Things will start happening. I've had 2 businesses in my life where I've been self-employed. One was a complete disaster and I lost a ton of money, and the other one was a success. And actually that's probably why I bought my first Rolex and got into watches, higher end watches anyway, because it was a success. So, but guess which one I learned more from? It was the failure. I learned so much more. The good business, the successful one, it was mostly down to luck, and I don't really know what I was doing, to be honest. I was just working hard. But it's focus, it's focus that did it. And I did apply it to myself both times, but it's focus that self-discipline to cut out all the distractions and really apply yourself, really learn. It's a skill. It really is a skill. When other people are going to parties and going out and doing this and doing that, or playing computer games, you're the one working, you're the one applying yourself, you're the one with the supreme focus. Not getting distracted by Facebook, not getting distracted by God knows what, by women or gambling or whatever your vice is, right? Whichever floats your boat. So supreme, ultimate focus really is number 5, and learning to apply it. And this goes into my 4th point, and that is using everything, and I mean everything, as a constructive tool. So for example, when you watch a video, right, and it's a little bit distasteful, it might be some god-awful video, right, and it's just vulgar, right? What does YouTube do? It suggests a similar video that you might find interesting. It's marketing. It's the way the world is, right? It's like when you shop on Amazon. Oh, you read this book? Well, how about this one, right? If you read Anthony Beevor's Stalingrad, right, it will suggest to you Anthony Beevor's D-Day, right? It's just natural. It's marketing. It's perfectly fine, right? But in life, you've got to be a bit more, you've got to think out the box a little bit more. You can find really great motivation when you remove yourself, because what tends to happen with YouTube, there's a spiral, there's a negative spiral, and you get stuck in a certain way, in a certain habit. Sometimes you have to think outside the box, and you can really find amazing motivational stuff from completely different sources. Thinking outside of the predicted norm, of what is recommended. It can be an incredible motivational tool. And what I mean by this is that when you start watching things that are completely different, it's like anything in life. If you start tasting exotic foods or traveling to exotic places, you're going to have a more immersive experience. You're going to have a wider view or perspective of the world. And in the long term, it can be hugely motivational, gives you that leg up. So use everything as a tool. Use YouTube videos, positive, educational, constructive YouTube. Avoid the negative spiral. Avoid, crass, vulgar things that just drag you down. We are what we consume up here as well. We should treat our brains like we treat our body. You fill it with ghastly, vulgar, degenerate content, you're not gonna advance. You're not gonna stimulate your mind in the way it should be. I have found incredible educational programs from all kinds of different walks of life, from travel documentaries to nature program, or, name it. The wider the scope, use everything at your disposal. There's always something to learn out there, so don't limit yourself. Think, remove yourself from that predicted, recommended train of thought. Don't be spoon-fed the recommended things. When you have a wider spectrum of information and culture and art, you automatically empower yourself and give yourself an advantage, a motivational advantage, and you can really get inspiration from that. Okay, so number 3, and this is a really crucial one that I don't see recognized enough, and that is the importance of role models. I've talked at great length about how Terry Thomas has kind of inspired me, that autodidactic quest for knowledge and culture that he had, how he removed himself from quite humble beginnings and created success from it. It's very admirable. He's really a role model. The architect Richard Rogers, who really is a style icon for me, has really inspired me. People like Steve McQueen, not the film star, even though he is a fantastic role model, very talented guy. I mean the filmmaker, the 12 Years a Slave. I did a video in the early days of the channel about my admiration for him and his daring filmmaking and how it really pushed Hollywood and pushed the mainstream like very few people have, and we've kind of regressed in the last few years, but hopefully he's working on some new stuff. So role models are crucial for forming our own core values, our own identity. We take little things, little nuggets from our role models and things that we can relate to, and we can learn from them. We can be inspired. They are incredible motivational tools. We learn skills, we learn values, we learn how to act, how to behave aesthetically, stylistically. There's so much to learn from role models. So always, I always catch myself thinking, I was reading the book on Napoleon, fantastic biography on Napoleon. I was making a business decision, and who popped up? Napoleon. I kept thinking of all these Napoleon quotes, these fantastic quotes that just stick in your mind. You keep thinking, well, what would Napoleon do in this situation? It's a really great way of thinking. It can be extremely motivational. Also, it can give you incredible strength. Somebody who I found incredibly motivational recently is the British Italian, well actually he's British but he has an Italian mother, is the British chef Pierre White. There is an amazing, absolutely outstanding interview for the Oxford, I think it's for the Oxford University, on their YouTube. I'll leave a link down below. If you're not familiar with Pierre White, he is a Michelin star chef, one of the world's greatest chefs, extremely tough, came from a very working class background in the north of England. But what I love about him is, he's the only man to make Gordon Ramsay cry. Gordon Ramsay learned everything from him. He was his sous chef. It's incredibly motivating because when you see him speak, he has such pearls of wisdom. You watch that interview with him and you will be absolutely entranced by his focus, his absolute focus, his clarity of thought. He's somebody that doesn't beat around the bush. In the restaurant world, especially the French Michelin, all these fancy French restaurants that he cut his teeth in, they're so pompous, so pretentious, but yet he is the absolute polar opposite. He's so down to earth. There's no BS in him. He's the least pretentious. He's all about business. He has this clarity, this absolute determination, this no-nonsense, straightforward approach that is, I find, deeply, deeply motivational and hugely inspirational to me. If you just go onto YouTube and type in Pierre White rants, or when he loses his temper, he's ferocious. He really pushes people, and he's an incredible motivator. The way he talks, so eloquent. I love him. He's definitely a role model. He's up there with all my role models. I'll give you my favorite quote from him, right? This is typical of his he's very anti-pretentious, right? So one of the quotes is, "You can put a pig in a suit, but you can't stop it from grunting." Absolute. I mean, that's so true, so true. He's all down to business, and I respect him immensely. In fact, that's one of my goals. I'm going to go and take the wife and eat in one of his restaurants in London next year, definitely. So, I mean, we did Gordon Ramsay restaurant just after Christmas, but next, I think we got to do the master, you know, the guy who taught Gordon Ramsay. So I can't imagine what the food's going to be like, but I'm very excited. Don't ever forget the importance of role models. Having role models in your life, identifying what you like about them, what you appreciate, what you can learn, what you can take little bits, you know, because at the end of the day, our own identity, our own core morals and core values are what we learn from our parents, from life, from our friends, and from our role models, people we admire. So it's a great motivational tool. Okay, number 2, and this is something fairly simple, and this is just being somebody that your loved ones, people that are important to you and your family, being somebody that they can be proud of, and upholding values that they can be proud of. It might be different for you, but it's hugely important to me. My parents always taught me to be honest and to be straightforward. They taught me many, many great things that, you know, when I have children, I will pass down to them. My family love the channel. They're huge fans. Un grande bacio a tutti. From Italy to the UK, my family in America, because I've got a lot of family in America too. They all tune in. They're proud of me, and that really makes it all worthwhile. Not to ever harm anybody or never speaking badly of other people. This kind of things. This is what I was taught. And you'll never catch me ever on camera, you know, ridiculing or making light of anybody. I would never ever do that. That's just not me. It's something I will always stick to, and I will always remember. And I always remember my family whenever I do a video of what they would think. My biggest regret would be to shame them or to make them embarrassed or to not do them proud. So that is a great motivational tool for me. If you don't have family, then your friends, your loved ones, your wife, your children. I always think about them. They're always with me. You know, even the ones, my family that have passed away, even last year, recently. They're always still with me, and I always think about making them proud. And if you don't have those kind of values that have been handed down to you, then it's never too late to start, to make those around you proud of you. It's an incredible, powerful motivational tool, and I cannot stress that point enough, okay? So that was my number 2. What is my number 1? Very, very simple indeed, and that is never, ever, ever give up. You know, people these days, they give too many excuses. Leave the excuses for the weak. Winners don't give excuses, okay? Never ever give up. And it's something I see so much today is people are half-hearted. They're not in it to win it. I might have a slight advantage to some people because I have this thing of, like, you know, every day I can breathe is, you know, I'm constantly reminded. It's like a memento mori. It's constant with me. I have to be doing something. Some people need a little bit of fire under them to get them moving, right? But never ever give up. Keep calm, carry on, you know. I know it's a cliche, but, you know, it does serve. Make people respect your resilience. Always keep that in the back of your mind. I always think about people, especially people that have been rude to me or discourteous or have done me wrong, or people that have let me down. I always think about them, and I always think how they gave up, how they weren't strong enough, how they were weak. And I remember, and that keeps me going, because the difference between a winner and a loser is that the winner always gets back up. They may lose the fight, but they get up and fight again the next day, and the next. Perseverance really is. Of all of my my observations at successful people, personal people I know, or in mainstream culture, it's perseverance. It's keeping on the fight, never giving up, coming back again and again and again. Doesn't matter what it is. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to build a multi-million-dollar business, or you just want to become the best, I don't know, a javelin thrower. God knows what it is. God knows. It's perseverance. Tapping into that motivation, that state of being, that absolute, clarity of thought. Never giving up, never doubting yourself, self-determination, self-belief, having that will to the core, to the very essence of your being at an atomic level, Even if all your organs start failing, you're still going. I'm very resilient in certain ways. Other ways I'm not. The only two times I stopped making videos, one particular week, I had two of my family members pass away in the same month, within a week or two of each other. A very close family member committed suicide. It was awful after a long struggle with cancer. And then my grandmother passed away, and that was tough. I missed the video that couple of days, okay? I missed the video. The other time was when I had serious organ failure. I had my second, third, and then a fourth, but not so major, lung collapses. Major organ failure and death. That's the only thing that stops me, okay? You must have absolute determination. And the motivation is to never give up. You must tap into that. Absolute dedication. Never forget that, because that is what separates the losers and the winners in life. I've always been 100% honest. You ask anybody that knows me, and I'm not talking about people that I've never ever met, online or Facebook or whatever, that claim they know me and I don't know them whatsoever. I'm talking about real life, right? People that know me. They will always say that I've always been 100% straight with them. Okay, that's how I am. That's how you have to be. But don't get it twisted. I love that turn of phrase, but it's perfect for this. We are still in a dog-eat-dog survival of the. We're still in a Darwinian struggle to the end. Okay, I'm in New York. It's as vicious as ever. I used to be in the music industry, which is without a doubt the most cutthroat industry of all time. So my skin is like Teflon, okay? I have moments of doubt. Everybody's does. You must find it within yourself. The second you wake up to the second you go to sleep. You must have it ingrained, indoctrinated like a central ideology, the core of your being, to never give up. This is the TGV way. This is the urban Gentry way. This is fundamentals of who I am, how I've always been, how I always will be. So just to quickly run through them. Number 10, the 40% rule. Just when you think you've had enough, you've still got 60% more to go. You're hungry, you're tired, you don't feel like doing this, you're jogging, I'm tired, I'm thirsty. No, only 40%. You got to still know the 60%. Number 9, perspective. Remember, your ancestors, they had it a lot worse than you. They died face down in the mud, many of them, so you can enjoy this freedom. So suck it up, get on with it. Number 8, goals, rewards, short term, long term. Always have something, the master plan, and then have something to reward yourself on the way, okay? Number 7, always be busy, occupied. Fingers in many pies. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Keep yourself occupied with many things, constructive, positive things that will stimulate you and grow you. So that was number 7. Number 6, never let negative people, jealous, envious, haters, never let any of that touch you. Stay above it. Never let it. They want to drag you down to their level. Cut them off. Keep growing. Leave them behind. If they're energy vampires or they're, toxic, cut them off. Okay, so that's number 6, dealing with negativity. Number 5, learn focus, discipline, crucial. Staying motivated. Avoid distractions. Having absolute clarity of thought. Eye on the prize. Away from distraction and weaknesses. Number 4, use everything at your disposal. Books, cinema, YouTube, everything. Music, everything to motivate you, to keep you in a positive, motivated state of mind. Never ever go into that negative spiral. Keep you above that using anything at your fingertips. We got so many incredible resources. So that's number 4. Number 3, the importance of role models. Having a central core ideology of values. Learning from role models. Taking a little bit here, a little bit there, and applying it to your own life, and building an identity, a core belief, an ideology that is unbreakable and will motivate and inspire. Okay, so number 2, and that is to be somebody, your loved ones, your family, and your ancestors, to do them proud. Use that as a motivational tool. Always remember them. Never ever forget their sacrifices. Be somebody that is dependable, that upholds their values, and that they look upon with pride. Okay, and number 1, without a doubt, is never, ever, ever, ever give up. Giving up is for losers. Persistence is the key to success. Let the weak and the losers, stop and complain and give excuses. Excuses are for the weak. Eye on the prize. Keep focused. Keep going forward no matter what. Let nothing stop you. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up there because I've been rambling. Please don't forget to add your own little secrets of motivation. What motivates you? What pieces of advice do you give to my audience? I'd love to hear from you, so don't forget to add that in the comments. So thank you very, very much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and found it useful. It really does help me, so please don't forget to give me that like. And as always guys, stay motivated, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.